than 2 years now, a wide range of players have been working together to build the very essence of a project that will become emblematic and was announced at the Moving On Summit in 2019. Members of an unprecedented consortium, elected representatives of the city and municipal departments, all came together around the same vision of the smart city. And who better to speak about it? I'm delighted to have around this table today a panel of experts and guests. On my right, Denis Hameau, Deputy Mayor, City of Dijon, and you're managing the project of OnDijon.
Yes.
Great to have you on the show. And on my left, we have Thomas Fontaine. So Thomas, you're the Managing Director at Keolis, Dijon Mobilités. And finally, Alexandre Ryckman, who is Smart City and Mobility Expert, Capgemini. Welcome, gentlemen. It's great to have you all. So we've seen the video. It's actually very exciting to see what's going on. So what was the vision finally behind, this commitment of the OnDijon approach?
Maybe I can...
Yes, of course.
For us, the vision is first with three priorities. The first is the ecology.
Mm-hmm.
The second is how we can make more for inclusion, for people, for link with people, for social inclusion. And also we have a sustainable approach of the development, economic development. It's the vision of François Rebsamen, the mayor of Dijon and president of the metropolis. And with his support, we can have the possibility to create this project, and also with because it's very important to have a transversal approach for the administration also, and we need also the commitment of the general director of the services. It's very important, and with these two sponsors,
mm-hmm.
in a certain way, we can go to have a form of cooperation spirit in the project between the companies, because we need a consortium to address this complex question, and also a form of public and strong public leadership with this political vision. But we need also a form of a new economic model.
Of course,
because we have to look the space area with the public area with a new look. We can't have the whole
same
way
vision that we had
and
before.
the whole way to think the economical model. It's really something important. But we also with this project create a way to cooperate between the engineers of the project and also the people who deliver services for the population.
Mm-hmm. So I'll get to that point, which is clear. And by the way, you can see the images behind us. They're great. This beautiful city, Dijon, and great videos. So you said it, Denis. Once the vision was clear, decisions taken, the challenge was also to bring together a number of stakeholders, city service providers, but also industry, academia. How was this orchestrated? Was it? I'm sure it was quite challenging to get all the people around the table. So, what was the investment model and the cooperation between public and private? How was all of that chosen? I know it's lots of questions in one questions, but I'm curious to learn more.
It's really a new way to think the cooperation between the private innovation and the leadership, public leadership. It's really very important. But it's also a form of work in progress, because we innovate with this project on Dijon, and that's the reason why we need a consortium to build a solution. And it's very complex to build a form of connected control center. Integrate a lot of
stakeholders.
Stakeholders, but also a lot of functions. Because at the beginning, the project is a project of infrastructures. And that's the reason why we have the question of mobility, we have the question of municipal police, we have the question of the street light, we have the question of security, how we can manage the crisis with the situation, and with this integration we have something very strong and very powerful to address a lot of situations that are sometimes on crisis mode.
So was it challenging? Was it tricky to get everybody on board and speak to everyone and to go into that direction?
Yes. And with this project, we have the first step for us is to connect all the infrastructures. It's the first objective. And the second objective is second aim is to manage internal change with engineers, but also with people who deliver services to the population. Because for us, it's a big change. Really, it's a challenge.
Absolutely. So getting back to that point, maybe Alexandre, we're speaking about hypervision, right? So probably for our audience there, what's the difference between supervision and hypervision? What are we really talking about?
Yes. Just to explain you the difference between supervision and hypervision, it's about levels. That means when talking about supervisor, we are talking about domain, a job domain, like water management, street lighting, for instance, mobility. And the fact is that the supervisor is a tool that is used by the technical public services in municipalities in order to manage equipments and also to get information from them, like default, for instance, when you have a street light
not working,
which is not working anymore, you have the information. So the technical services are using these tools in order to follow the different events.
In real time?
Yes, in real time. But what is interesting with the hypervisor is that you have the same process, but the data are coming from the different supervisors. That means you are working with cross-silo mode. And this enables to have a 360 view of the whole territory in real time. And knowing that, you can have a better management on the event management, event which can be planned or unplanned, just depending on the situation. And the empowerment of the hypervisor is that for each type of event, you also have procedure which is pre-configured, and then the teleoperator with the user at the central command center he knows exactly what he have to do step by step, and he also knows who are the person he have to contact directly in order to intervene on the different events.
So it's very smooth.
Yeah.
Okay. And what we've seen in the video about the app, for example, Denis, where you see there's an accident, you can report by the app. This is very smart. And those kind of data is being retrieved and collected and then applied on the field. This is what you're saying.
Yes, that's it. I was speaking about event. And on that point, when a citizen is using the mobile app in order to make a declaration,
signal something,
yes. The data is going directly in the data platform, and the data platform is the base of the hypervisor. So it means the data is coming directly at the screen of the teleoperator, who have the process to manage it.
We really need that in Paris. If we do that, it's going to be overwhelming because there are always problems everywhere. Anyway, that's not the topic. So getting back to that, so the OnDijon, what this means is produces a lot of data, which is what we are doing there in the city. And this what's going to happen compared to a city like Paris, where there's lots going on. But also for a city like Dijon, it means they will produce more and more data in the years to come. So what about governance and access to data? What are the conditions? How will it be used in the future? I think Denis and maybe Alexandre have your feedback on that. That's a really key question.
Yes. But before the data, we have the question. Sorry. Before the data, you have the question of the to have a very strong information system and also a very strong cyber security. It's very important on this. It's
a critical topic, especially right now.
And if you have this, you can go on for the data. And the question of the governance is how we can collect the data, how we can organize the data, how we can use for us, for our territories, Dijon Metropolis we have 4 aims. We have the first is an economical and sustainable development model. It's very important for us. How we can, with the data, renew the public services. It's also for us something very important to be more transversal, with more coordination also.
Right.
How we can adapt solutions for different size of municipalities, because we have 23 municipalities. We have a village, and we have also middle city like Dijon, middle-sized city, and we don't have the same need.
Absolutely.
For the citizens, and we try also to develop the participatory of the citizens with this app, because it's a way to give people a way to interact with us, but we need also a form of with the data. We have to be careful of some conditions, some key of success, in my opinion. First is data trust, because the data will be protected for people. We have to have a real ethic on privacy of people, and we try to create for the future a sort of ethical committee. It's very important for us. The second is the form of data strategy to manage the rules and the projects, the different projects, because it's very important to give trust, because we don't want to be Toronto.
Yeah, totally.
And we have also, because we have a lot of projects on the city of Dijon, on the metropolis, and we try to organize a sort of data hub to connect different platforms and to thematize the different data. It's very important, because
that must be very tricky.
Yes.
Also to collect.
And then I have for the future, I have a project with the School of Engineers and on other schools, and with the university, because I'm in charge of this question on the metropolis also. And I will create a sort of dream, is a data factory.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So what about the city of Dijon? Do you own the data today? Do you own it? The city is the data belongs to the city. Who owns the data?
Yes.
Yeah. If we speak about mobility, and the data is owned by Dijon Metropole, and so in terms of improvement on mobility, we can use the data in order to optimize the service for mobilities. Meaning, for instance, I'll just give you an example. If we speak about, we have got a good ridership on a tram, and we want to understand how to develop it, we can use the data, and after develop a new model system, maybe with another bus line, maybe to complete to the tram operation with connection with a car park around the city, in order to give more service and integrated service, mass mobility as a service to the customer of Dijon Metropole in terms of mobility. So Dijon Metropole is owning the data, and we work closely together in terms of mobility within Keolis Dijon Mobilités in order to supply the service day to day, and more than that, to optimize the service. And it's really interesting to understand the ways that we use the data, we manage this data, and after we are going back to the customer in order to give them the feedback to say, okay, we have understood the ways that you move, so we can give us and supply you a better service.
Right. So now you were mentioning the mobility, and how do you deploy it? Probably give us some more concrete insights.
It has been a wonderful adventure. We do begin, I think, 2018 with Denis and the team of Dijon Metropole. So within Keolis Dijon Mobilités, we operate all the mobilities, so tram, buses, cycling, and all car parking for all Dijon Metropole. And the first step was just to move to this community of OnDijon and to work together. And really quickly, we have created together this community because we had to face some events. As you mentioned before, we have got some planified events, and sometimes something we don't planify, you don't wait for, you don't forecast.
Especially those you don't plan for.
Yeah, they are the best one. Yeah, they are the best one, because you arrive, you launch your operation 4 o'clock in the morning, and you've got something arriving. It could be snow, it could be, and so the way to work all together in the heart of the city has created this translative work, this community, and we have developed after improvement. And the way that we develop improvement, I just get back to the example of snow, it could be other things, that you are facing the situation, so we all work together. As Denis Hameau was mentioning before, you have got the municipal police, you have got the Hypervision center, we have got all the OCC for all the mobilities in the same place, and then after you make this return of experience and you say, how could I improve the next time? And it's all about process, but more it's all about people, human behavior, people working together. And after, so you develop new solution. For instance, I just stay on snow events, where you are working to develop also mobilities. Since OnDijon has been developed 3 years now, almost 3 years, no problem with snow. I mean, you know that in Dijon we have got really good weather, but no, it's just a good example. It's just showing that we are working together, we develop new process, and people, they work together. And after, there is all this new way of management, which has been really a big success. If we speak more after the link we spoke about the link with data, there is something linked to with the life of the city, where you've got events, you've got, for instance, cultural and sportive activity, where we can develop the mobility in connection with the other teams of OnDijon in order to supply the best service with tram buses, but even to say to people, okay, you can go by car, and going all together, you share the car, you reduce the level of consumption of CO2. So it's really, in terms of environment, so it's really something, it's an improvement story and really interesting adventure. And we are all improving day to day, and every day we improve together. So it's really passionate.
Very exciting.
Yeah, really good.
Thank you for sharing, Thomas. You mentioned something, MAS, Mobility as a Service. We know that it's becoming a key model for the development of mobility across all the regions. We've seen that, and for which open data and governance are actually very key. So what do you think? What are your plans here for Dijon, for example, Denis, for your area? Can you imagine, for example, extending this model, integrating it, into a potential MAS regional scheme? What's your views?
As Thomas said, we have done a global system of mobility, a multimodal system. As Thomas said, we have done a multimodal and global system of mobility on Dijon Metropolis, and we collect all the data, and we can give a lot of information for the use of people. It's very important for us, and we can have a sort of exchange also with the people, because they can, with a call center on Dijon, they can also ask us a lot of problem or situations, and it gives us a lot of information to adapt the services. It's very important. We have also, for me, the next step is to improve it with a new technology, because we create a program with a prioribus, because we want to give the tram is first, but we want to give the second priority for the bus, and we have done this, and it's very important, because we give for the collective transport, the model collective transport, to give a priority, and it's really a political choice. And we have also the question of open payment. It's a use. Maybe you can
yes, of course.
Thomas.
Yeah, where Dijon has been creative, innovative. We developed open payment at the beginning of 2018. So you just pay, it's open up off, as you can say. You pay with your credit card, and we have got more than 1 million customers now, with all people for France, but all around the world. And it has been really the good example of facilitating the access to the transportation. And the way what we develop in MAS today is really an equilibrium and a balance between the technology, so the apps, you can the apps of OnDijon, the apps of Divia Mobilités, the network of transportation, and in the meantime, the way that we are in connection with customer, understand the data. We are developing no program with complementarity with tram buses and cycling, tram buses and walking. Walking is good to in order to go in the city, in the pedestrian center of Dijon, and so we are working with the apps in order to supply the best, let's say, service and experience on mobility to each customer or to each citizens of Dijon, depending on what they want to do. If I want to work or I don't want because there's still snow, so I go back to the tram, for instance. I just go back to snow. But no, it's really interesting. And the way that we are improving this system is really the understanding of customer, the strategy developed by Dijon Metropole in terms of mobility, and our development of technology with a global apps, meaning a mass apps, mobility as a service application, with all the mobility integrated together to give all the information and to really assist in real time all the people who choose the mobility, which is really important for the planet, we know.
I think if the service is smooth, there will be more users, obviously.
Developing, yeah, for sure. For instance, just to give you an example, we have developed plus 20% within in 3 years of use of new people in Dijon Metropole of mobility, because they have got more information and they are really, it's easy to access to transportation. You pay with your credit card, you pay all with your regular card, and after, in the meantime you've got the information. So it's really, you keep the human presence of people, of Divia Mobilité, but in the meantime you have got all the assistance, so you are really in confidence in order to go to the transportation.
Absolutely.
And we really know that's key, because when you are a historical user of car by yourself and you want to go to the mobility, there's always something you need to have in order to launch and to launch yourself. So we with the OnDijon project and the job we are doing all together, it has been really a success. Plus 20% is really a good example.
Yeah. I can speak personally on that. I took the bus after like 3 years in Strasbourg, and I was trying to buy the tickets with the bus driver. He looked at me and said, when was the last time you took the bus? We don't sell tickets on bus anymore. I said, oh my God, so what shall I do? I said, download the app and buy the tickets. So I could just download the app and buy the ticket because it was so smooth. I said, yeah, I could take the bus again.
No, it's and we have got, by the way, we've got a chatbot too. So assistants, vocal assistants, in order to have, you've got your apps, your smartphone, and you can even have something like will just show you where to go, and so it's a good development of technology, but for the service of the customers and for a human presence in the meantime. Yeah.
Right. So
and for me, the next step is because we test a lot of things in the metropolis of Dijon, is how we can reply those solutions or imagine new solutions on the scale of the region, because I'm also a councillor of the region and I'm in charge of the new mobility. The new mobility means you have to give solution to people who don't have solution of mobility for the rural areas, areas, and we have a real challenge for the region.
Finding the adapted solutions to their context, which is very different from a city, medium-sized or big. Right, so time is running. We're almost reaching the end of this discussion. So probably for each of you, there was the announcement of this project at the Moving On Summit in 2019. I think you announced it, Denis, and so could you probably just tell us what are the feedback, the key success factors, the obstacles that still need to be overcome? I will start with you and then get back to you.
Okay. For me, the first feedback is that this project on Dijon helped us during the challenge of COVID. For me, it's the first, because we are very. It's something. Nothing can happen like that.
Yeah, nobody planned for it.
Yes, nobody planned it, and with this connected control center, we have to face this amazing situation, in my opinion, and we create because we create more than 450 procedures. Together, we create a common language with this work, and this common language give us a way to act together with a very big efficiency, in my opinion, in this situation. And with this base and the call center on Dijon, because we have a call center and we can help really in real time people. We can give us information, good information, and
relevant
fake
ones.
News.
Yeah, exactly.
And for me, we can manage the situation and give new services around the question of mobility. the situation of people who need money with the post office also, with social services, because people have sometimes situations are very difficult in their family, and we have to help them. Old people, for example, who don't have the solidarity of their
family, or they're lonely and they need assistance.
Because in the first time of the crisis of COVID, people are very separated.
Yeah, they're isolated and they need assistance.
And we can address the question of security also, because we can with the CCTV, we can saw people who have a problem because there is no one on the space area, on the public space area. Donc we can help people, and we have also a real link with the hospital on this situation. And for me, it's really important because we have learned a lot in this period.
So maybe Alexandre, a quick word on that from your perspective.
For me, 2 points. The first one, as an IT expert, I would like to speak about the interoperability of the systems, because it's very important. If you want to anticipate for the future and the different connections that can be put in place with other systems, with new needs, your global system needs to be very compliant and interoperable. And the second point is we are just talking about the different citizens' profiles. It means that we have to stay focused on the user-centric management, because you can not create solutions without knowing very precisely what are the use of the different citizens.
Realistic, more close to the ground, and see what is needed clearly.
Yes. And the way of thinking of people is evolving.
It's evolving, of course. Yeah.
So you need to adapt.
Agility.
That's it.
Thomas?
Yeah, and it has been really a good experience, meaning about the way that mobility has been more in the middle of the life of the city, and to understand how all the integration of mobility, the mass, could be really something in order to support the life and the efficiency and the way of life in the city. And it has been really a really good experience. And in the meantime, we have shared with the different countries operation done by Keolis, by United States, Australia, to even with some project in China and even in UK. In order to share experiences together and to improve the system. And I would like just to finish on this point about it's a lot of technology, but only a human adventure. In the meantime, in the smart project of OnDijon, and we have got right now a big team which is really together in order to face all the what we can face on the day-to-day operation in mobility, and it's really improving. It's really nice adventure.
To see that, so the OnDijon project is quite a success. So what should we expect for the future, Denis?
Yes, for me the success is given by the other cities, or because we resize around 200 delegation of other cities of French delegation, but also international delegation. We have the city of Sydney, we have the city of Brazil, we have the city all over the world before the COVID. And the second for me is the question of when we launch the app. We have a new step because. With the call center on Dijon, we have 1,000 calls per day with citizens, and they give us a lot of information.
Feedback about what's happening.
Yes, what's happening, but also they need information for the question of administration or personal problem or situation. And but since the 30th of October
you have the app.
2021, we have the app, and we have in 2 months we have 4,000 people who download
the app.
And it's 4,000 people per second, because we are in real time. It's not per day, it's per second. And for example, today we have the Christmas tree were collected today in Dijon, whole the city of Dijon, and people can give us information, and we can give us also this information
to collect.
Yes. Yes, you can put your Christmas tree, and we try to keep the Christmas tree and to.
Right.
And it's very using system is very
practical, convenient.
Yes, practical. But for me, it's also how we can build with the citizens the new services with this app. We have. Have to signal a lot of situation or a lot of problem, but we have also to give people a new way to have services and administration, e-administration, but we can create new services that we don't know now. It's very important, and we can also give for different sizes of municipalities the good services. And it's also a new way. We have to have a discussion with the 23 mayors and their team to create a little or a project for their own area, communities, and it's very enthusiastic.
Yeah, that sounds ambitious, but also very exciting. So it's great. Thank you so much to all three of you. It was great to have this chat with you. Great insights. I've learned a lot more about Dijon now. When I will come to Dijon, I will look at the city very differently. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right.